Yeah, I will explain about rules, profiles, and thing. In the previous class, I think I did explain about the login history, right? In today's class, I will explain about profiles. Why are they useful? You know, when I'm creating user, I have to attach each and every user to a profile. Two, to show the means to show the app access, all that stuff. I have to assign a profile to the user to share to share the access what he can see or what he can access or what he can modify. Everything can be configurable in Salesforce security wise. I will show you the what options you can control with profiles. Okay, when I'm applying a profile to a user, I can apply the profile to a number of users, thousands of users also. All the thousand users will be having the same access what I am defining in the profile level. I'm clicking on profiles now. Okay, and so I'm clicking on profiles. It's still loading. Okay, give me a minute. So for suppose you can see some different options here and different option here. I cannot see the delete operation here. Why is that? See, if I scroll down, there is a simple checkbox here. There is no checkbox here because this is not a custom profile. This is profile created by Salesforce, and I cannot delete them. Salesforce gives some profiles, generally some profiles for different licenses. See, if you come and scroll to up, right? So there is a force.com app subscription user. This profile name is only available for user license type of force.com app subscription. If I am selecting a license type first at the user level, the profiles associated with that user license will be shown in the second pick list value. It's dependent pick list. Okay. If I'm selecting Salesforce, see this profile name you can see, this profile name you can see, this also you can see, all this stuff you can see with all Salesforce user licensed. If I am selecting charter free, I will see charter free user moderator two licenses. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, so these are the license type. Whenever you're selecting some license type, you can see the profile names according to that. Okay, let's say and the profiles what I have created. See, I can clone the profile and I can create a new profile like this. I'm clicking on clone here. I'm currently cloning partner community user which belongs to the partner community license. I'm copying the same thing and I will say partner community user India. So for suppose especially for Indian partner community users, if you want to provide some separate permissions or separate settings, I can configure in this new profile name which I'm creating for Indian location. Okay, I'm clicking on save. I'm saving that. Okay, it taking some time. Yeah, now the profile is created with the name partner community user. I can only delete the custom profiles which I have created. See, again coming down to the profiles, there are a lot of settings. Okay, I can assign some apps. I can assign connected applications. I can control object settings, what they can access and what they can modify, what they can see. All the CRUD access you can control here, object settings, app permissions. So I will talk about that in detail again. Okay, app permissions. So there are a lot of applications like call center application, sales app, marketing app like that. Each and every application will be having some settings like manage leads like that, manage call centers. We can upload knowledge, manage knowledge like that. If I enable that permission, this profile users will have that permission to modify. Okay, there are a lot of app permission. I will show that to you. And Apex class also I can add it to this profile user so that they can use that Apex classes. Otherwise, they cannot use that. Even though again VFX also you can do the same way. If I want to give some build some pages for um, these profile users, I have to create first and after that I have to add it to this profile. to share the VF and Apex access to these people. And I can also connect external data sources for these users. And I can also add permissions with named credential access. Okay. And I can also define some data categories and I can add it here. I will show that how easy it is to add. So when you open that, there is a left section and right section. All the available items are shown on the left side. If you select something and if you move towards right side, they are selected, and if you click on save, now that permissions are added or applied to this profile. And custom permissions, there are a lot of permissions for a user, whether they can upload leads like that type of permissions I can control here also. Okay, very basic settings. And there are some system permissions also, whether I can perform UL modify all data, whether I can use data loader, whether I can import widget, the type of options I can give it here. And I can also control the login hours for this current profile here. If I am creating a profile for India, I can give the login hours as Indian start time, that's 8 p.m. sorry 8 a.m. to evening 6 p.m. Indian time, so that they can only log in at that time. Out of that time, if someone is trying to log in, it will throw some exception. Okay. And login IP ranges, I can also provide some IP range so that if someone is logging out of that IP range, it won't allow. It will ask. It will throw some exception on the login page. And I can also give some session timeout also for these users. What is session timeout? If they are not using the system for more than 1 hour, I can give that time here, so that will be expired. Means the session will be expired and they have to log in again. Password policies. So whether they have to change the password every 3 months or every month, or what is the password strength, I can control it here. Specific to this profile users, I have this particular settings organization wide also. For complete organization, I can also set some login hours, IP ranges, and also what trusted IP range, and also password policies for organization wise. How to check that? If you expand security controls, I have option for password policies for organization wise, network access, the IP thing, okay, IP ranges, and also session settings, like session management here, session settings here, like this. Okay, this is all organization wide configuration and settings. These are all profile level. Let's start with new thing, but I will try to choose some other profile which is already having more settings like that. I'll click on profiles. I'll go to some custom Salesforce profile. That's what we generally use, right? Okay, I'll use custom marketing profile. This is a custom profile which I created. That is the reason you can see the delete button here. I cloned this profile from the marketing profile which is here, marketing user. Okay, this is the profile name. I cloned this and I created custom marketing profile name. Okay, let's scroll down and I'm clicking on that custom marketing profile. This is the profile which I'm currently opening. In this profile, first of all, I will click on edit. I can modify the profile name and description also. Okay, and later on, I can modify this option because it's a custom profile which is completely defined by the system. If you created that, it's obviously checked. If it is not created by you, it's created by system, it's unchecked. And obviously you cannot modify the license type what this profile is linked with. Okay, and it's created by and modified by also is clearly mentioned here. If I'm modifying something on the profile, it obviously sees the date and time also clearly mentioned in this profile view page. Okay, give me a second, guys. One second. Yeah, I'm back. Okay. So in the profile information, there are two sections. One is app section. Apps, you can control applications. Other thing is system settings. These are all system settings, right? Salesforce, application settings, overall settings. These are all application settings. Okay. These are system settings. That is Salesforce application means just for system settings. Okay. Let's click on this. What I can control here, I can control the app visibility. Okay, what apps are default, what apps are visible by these users. For suppose, if I want to give, for marketing profile users, I want to give marketing application by default, and I want to make this default application, but here it's not default. I will make it. I'll click on edit. Whenever these people are trying to log in, I want to keep this default. Okay, the marketing app as default. If I'm making the default application, I cannot uncheck that. I cannot uncheck the visibility because this is default. You have to keep this visible by default. I cannot change this option. Okay, and again, what is visibility? I can control the apps visible to that person. If I'm not giving access to cab request, if I log in as marketing profile user, I cannot see this profile name. Okay, I'll show something how to log in as some other users also, and I will show how things will affect. Okay, let's do one thing. I want to open a new tab. Open the setup in a new tab, and I'm scrolling down and I'm clicking on users. What is the profile name which I'm using here? That is marketing profile. Clicking on this. So I have login access for Sai, right? I will click on edit and I will rename the system admin permissions from here to marketing custom marketing profile user. Got it? Now I'm assigning Sai to this profile name and I'm clicking on save. Give me a second, guys. It's taking some time. Yes, now it's done. Now I still got the access for 1 second. Admin users. Okay, I will go to active users. Now I can see Sai name here. Here is Sai. If I click on, see, I can do one thing. I will log into the application from different browser also. I'm logging in from a different browser. Why I'm doing that? I have to log in as different user. How to do that? From Venkat user, I can also log in as some other people. If I got grant login access permissions. Okay. If I got grant login access permissions, I can do that. Give me a second, guys. I'm getting some call. I'm expanding users now. Going to users. I'm clicking on Sai. Here I got the Sai user. If I click on login, okay, I can log in as that person. I logged in as Venkat, but I am currently logged in as Sai. See, I can see Sai name here. The message with the black header, back black color background and white color thing will tell you that you currently logged in as Sai from Venkat system. It won't be mentioning that you are logging in from Venkat. As you have Venkat user license, I logged in first into Venkat. From there, I logged into Sai. That is the reason I can see the message like this. Okay, and now I can see the changes. Currently, you are seeing I can see the default app called marketing here. When I logged into Sai, what is the default marketing? That is, what is the default tab that's marketing? That is because I made this because of this, because I think he also kept the default app as marketing. That's the reason it's showing there. The users also can set the default application as something. If he is doing that, it will be saved. Whenever he's logging in second time, the context, what the if they have selected some application, the same app will be shown even though he's accessing after 10 days or after a number of days. Okay, still you can see the same app. I think he's using marketing app when he logged in last time. From now on, if a new user is trying to access the application, the default application is marketing app. That's the reason. This is the reason here. I made the default, and the apps what he can see is can be controllable with the visibility settings. Click on edit, and I want to remove cloud click for Salesforce. I'm clicking on that, and I'm clicking on, and I'm also removing the conference app. Okay, I'm also removing EJ to take app. Sorry, this is this app, LH employees. I also want to remove EJ to take app also. Now I'm clicking on save. Now see the changes what happened. If you go back to the other system, if I click on see before refreshing, I will show that to you. Expand this. You can see EJ to tab community Salesforce restaurant review. Click on refresh. And 20 login as marketing profile. There is some more settings which is overriding these settings. I'll show that to you. See, I'll show that to you. 1 second. I'm going back to the settings here. I'm clicking on Sai. I'm clicking on permission sets. Zero assignment. It's fine. What is the profile name? Custom marketing profile. Click on this. Click on ascend applications. We have community conference, widget to tech, marketing, restaurant review, Salesforce charter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 applications. Let's come back to the system. Click on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do one thing. I'm refreshing this also. You can see the same thing because when I open the browser, it automatically refreshes and it shows the only the new options. Okay, let's come back here, and I want to edit this, and I want to enable some more applications like cab request, call center, cloud call, click for Salesforce, and also conference also. Now that is content. I also want to enable this. See, I enabled a lot more apps. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 applications are should be visible on the for the SAI user. Come back, it's already refreshed and click on this or click on refresh. Now you can see 10 applications 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I made some counting mistake. 5, 11. Come back to this user. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 plus 5, 10, 11. Yeah, total 11 applications. Okay, visible to this marketing profile user. This is how I can make the default application unvisibility of the applications by enabling the simply checkbox. Okay, so with assign applications, I can assign different applications to different users. For suppose I know for a finance guy, I especially enable finance related applications. For a marketing guy, I enable marketing applications and I make the default as a marketing application. That's how I have to build the profiles or configure the profiles if you are administrator of that company or when you are configuring or implementing full CRM app for them. Click on profiles again. Sorry, I have to go back. I'm going to explain everything on custom marketing profile only. Going back to profile overview. Now I'm clicking on some other option, that is connected application settings. So you can also give some access what apps you can use, what connected applications you can use like Salesforce Charter. By clicking on edit, left side you can see the available apps, installed apps in your system. I haven't enabled these applications for this user. Now Sai belongs to custom marketing profile. You cannot use ant migration tool or charter desktop or charter mobile or data loader bulk or force.com id or salesforce.com files, any of these applications. If I want to give access, I have to click on this and I have to click on right side so that I'm selecting these applications and I'm enabling the apps, I means for this profile users so that these people can use these 6 applications from now on. Okay, okay, you got it. This is how you can enable applications, connected applications. It's very simple. If he is a system admin or CEO of the company, I can enable all these applications if you want to use all of them. If he is a developer, also I have to enable all of them because he will be using all the applications to try that and also check the any issues with that applications. Okay, I'm clicking on profiles again. Sorry, clicking on profile overview. No need to click on profiles to go back. Click on profile overview to see the profile detail page. Next option is object settings. This is the important option where you guys can control objects and field access also. Okay, you can also control the CRUD access on each and every object. What is CRUD access? Create, read, edit, delete. Sorry, edit means update. Create, read, update, delete. CRUD. Okay. So if I am using create means I can only create the records in the system, but I cannot view the records which I have created. If I give create and read, I can create and I can also read the records which I have created or records created by others also. Create, read, edit. Edit, edit will tell you whether you can modify the records or not or update the records or not. It's you represents for update, okay, not E. Edit for edit, okay. It's for update. And let's go with D for delete. Whether I can remove the records or not will be decided by D. If I enable that option, yes, they can remove the records also from the system. In the current scenario, I'm trying to open any object like contracts, or else I can check courses. Okay, currently the access is no access. See, check this, no access. There are a lot of settings you are going to control at this point of time. For an object called courses, there is a tab. Okay, the tab setting is default on. There are three settings: default on, default off, tab hidden. I can also control the tab settings at this point of time so that all these profile users can see the same settings for this tab. Okay, for this courses tab. And coming down to the record types, there are only one record type. There is no means there's no record types. If there's no record types, there will be only one record type, that is it is called master. Means there is no record types here. Why we use record types? Record types are useful to classify the object records. For suppose on the account object, if you want to classify small accounts, big accounts, um, or personal accounts like into three types, I can do one thing. I'll create three record types called personal account, small account, and big account. That will be useful for dividing, like dividing and showing different options for different users also. And permission sets, sorry, object permission sets here. The CRUD access you can define here: read, C, R, E for edit or update. Okay, both are synonyms. CRUD access, D for delete. And these two permissions are view all, modify all, or system admin permissions. If I am giving view all permission, even though if the object is in private sharing model, this person, the people who are assigned to this profile users can access all the records in the system on this courses object because he got view all permission on this object only. And coming down to modify all permission, if I check this option, all the people who belong to this profile users can see and also can modify the records on the courses object by anyone. Even though if it is created by CEO of the company, I can still see that and also modify that record from the system. This is generally admin permissions. Okay, the admins will be having view all, modify all permissions on all objects, even though for developers I can say, or for administrators of the company, even though if they don't have access, and even though if the object is in private sharing model, even though if the record belongs to some different country or state, still he can see the record because he got view all permission and modify all permission to modify the records, all the records in the system. Let's say later on there are field permissions. As I said, when you are trying to build the fields, you are configuring some settings. In future, if you want to modify that settings only to some set of users, I can also control that option here. At field permissions, I can control whether the field is read only or editable field. If I'm selecting only this option, it's read only field. It's visible and read only. If I'm selecting this option, it's visible on the layout, and they can also modify the record. They can also enter some new values. If I check only this value, means it's visible but read only. If I disable both these options, means it's invisible and you cannot write any data to that field. If I check only option, it's visible and read only. If I check both these options, it's only visible. You can also modify the record. Out of these six records, these two, lost, modified by, and created by, are read only. You cannot modify the records by the system. And the other fields like course name, okay, date, owner, and select the course name, some other field. These fields are modifiable by the customer or the user who is using the system finally. This type of security configurations I can configure object wise. If there are 170 objects, yes, I can count of all objects what you are using in this current project. Yes, I can configure the same different type of settings for different people from here. I'll do one thing. I'll click on edit. Now you click on tab should tab default on. This is setting for tab settings. There's only one layout. I can only set one layout here. If there are multiple layouts, I can change this layout setting for this profile user, so that if this profile users are accessing, it shows a different page layout than other people. You know how to create page layouts. I can clone that. I can create a number of page layouts for n different n profiles. For suppose if I want to show very new UI for Sri Lankan customers, if you want to show very new UI for US customers, and some new UI for Japan customers, yes, I can create different page layouts and I can assign to different profiles by changing the option here. And I can also you can also change the page layout assignment by profiles with the page layout assignment option. If you click on page layout assignment, yes, it's a clickable uh, tool widget to modify the page layout assignment to different profile users, to different profiles. Obviously it applies to the profile users to the system, the backend. Okay, here is the option to create CRUD access. If I give modify all, see, all are selected except create. For suppose if I am removing read only, all are deselected, because this is a very basic settings. You need read permission to even create the record also. You need read permission even to view viewer also. See, you need modify permission. For the basic permissions for this modify all is edit and delete, not create. Okay, see, if I don't have read, I cannot create or edit or delete or view all or modify all. If I want modify all, I have to keep all the settings enabled. First of all read, first of all edit, first of all delete, first of all view all. If I have these four permissions only, I can enable this. That is the reason I have this. Okay, and I can also, I cannot make this because this is standard fields. I cannot modify this. Other fields I can modify. This is a custom field. This is also a custom field. If I enable this, this will become read-only field. Okay. Same way, some of the objects I have is having around 150 fields also. I can configure according to your business needs. Okay. At the profile object settings, I'm clicking on save. This will be applied and it will be applied to the Salesforce marketing profile, custom profile users only, not to other people, because I applied to the custom marketing profile only. Now go back to profile overview. I'll click on object settings again. I'll show the account object thing because it's a very important and big object. Come back to the Safari browser. Let's see. I'm on the I'm going to the call center application. I have accounts. You open new customer. These are different record types. I'm clicking on big account. Click on continue. Okay. This is coming from the place layout, right? The view UI. So coming down to the backend, I'm clicking on account object. See, this is accounts. This is default on. If I click on edit, if I click on tab hidden, click on save, click on see, click on refresh. You don't see the accounts. It should see, it's disabled. Tab hidden is not working, something like that. think it will tab hidden. Click on save. Come here and click on refresh. What is tab hidden? Even though if you click on plus and you cannot see the account records. See, I think account object is not there now. Now it's working. Tab hidden is not working now. Sorry, account tab is not at all available in the system to query them. See, this is my account tab at here as well as at here also, because it's tab hidden. If I click on edit and if I made tab default on, it will be available back again to the system. See, the account tab is enabled now. And again, there are layouts. Click on edit. For this profile user, you don't want to show the small accounts. See, I will disable this. Now I don't want to show small accounts for this user. Click on save. Click on account object. Click on new. Now you cannot see the small account. See, you can also control the page layouts. Sorry, record type access, and even page layout settings for these record types also. And by clicking on edit, see, the reason why I am not seeing small account is I disable here. Now I enable this. Okay, the problem. I can also change the layout also as I associated with that big account or small account or medium account. See, I can change it like anything. Means if I'm opening personal account, I am going to open this layout, because layouts are assignable to the record types also. What are record types? You want to show different options by selecting a by using different option. What you can select here with the record type option. Okay, if I'm selecting different record type, I will show the different UI with this setting. Okay, and later on there is object settings, object permissions also. There are 6 settings. I'll show this is really important. If I'm going into the, if I'm removing the read access, it's there's no object, right? There is no settings at all. If I click on save, you are not going to create, you cannot create the account records also, and you cannot even see the tab also. Click on, come here, click on refresh. Now you cannot see the tab as well. What I got? Insufficient privileges. You cannot have level of access to the to perform the necessary to perform operation you requested. No, I cannot even access the tab at all, because you don't have access at all to the account object records. At least you should have one permission access to see the tab. That's the reason I'm giving only read permission. If I'm giving read permission here, if I'm clicking on save, come back to the system. Now you can see the account tab again back in the system. I got it. Now I cannot create the record. See, do you see the new button here? Why? You cannot see that because we have not enabled the create setting at the profile level for this custom profile user. Sai belongs to custom marketing profile user. I am clicking on edit. I'll enable this option. It quickly modifies the backend settings. Click on refresh. Now you can see the new button here. See, the new button is seen, right? Earlier it was not there. New. I can create new personal account like that. Okay. And let's go back. Can I modify the existing record now? Suppose ERM customer is there. CRM, ERM. This is a customer name. I opened a record. Can I modify this record? No, at this point of time, because you don't have edit permission at your profiles. I don't have edit button here. I cannot even see the delete button also, because I don't have delete operation also. Let's say I am refreshing, still I cannot see that. Come back, click on edit. I am clicking on edit and delete. Click on save. Come back here, click on refresh. Now you can see the new options. that is edit and delete button enabled for this profile user. That is this. I can modify record and delete record now. Earlier you cannot do that because you removed that option from the image. Let's say I'm going back again and I'm doing one thing. Sorry, before that I will try one thing to you. I'm clicking on account tab and I'm clicking on all accounts and clicking on go. If I'm clicking on all accounts and go, it is showing around 207 accounts. Okay, I'm coming back here and I'm clicking on edit and I will click on modify all. It obviously selects view all also. I'm clicking on save. Now come back to your system and click on refresh. Now you can see more accounts. So I think it's in public sharing model. As it is in public sharing model, there is no difference between view all and even though if I uncheck or uncheck it. If it is private sharing model, it works a lot. If it is private sharing model, I cannot see the records created by other people in the system. Okay. In that case, if I give view all or modify all permission, I can see all the records, and I can also modify the records if I have modify all permission. Okay. Because it's currently the object is in public sharing model, you don't need to use a view all because it's already in public sharing model. You don't need to put any special limits on that. And finally, the field permissions. That's really easy. I will click on edit and I'll show you one simple option to you. For suppose if I want to make the echo number as read only, what is that? I'll disable this and I will click on save and I will come back to your thing, click on new account and I will try to show the account number is read only field now. See, can I write some value here? No, right? I can do the same way. If I remove the field from read also, it won't be visible at all. The reason why you are seeing the account number is read only now because is you made that read only by selecting the by unchecking the edit. Now if I disable this also, see you don't see the account number field at all. Now see the account number field you cannot see at all now because I even removed the read permission also from the profile settings. This is how you can control the field level security with profiles. This will be only applied to the profile users who are logging in with Salesforce, sorry, custom marketing profile name. Okay, so you got the important settings what you can do with profiles, right? And let's go back to profile overview. This is what you can control with object settings. You can control tab settings. You can control record type access and you can disable the access also. I can only show 2 record types instead of 4. And I can also change the page layouts with them. And I can also select the default record type. And I can also control the object permissions whether he CRUD access and also view all modify all permission, that is admin permissions. And you can also control the field permissions also at the profile level by checking making read only visibility settings enabled and also read only options, the read write, all that stuff you can control here at the field security. Now go back to profile overview. I'll now show the next option, that is app permissions. If I click on this, you can see several apps like call center app, marketing app, like that. See, this is the call center app. These are some of the important things call center people have to manage, have to use, like they have to edit case comments, they have to edit self-service. If I'm not checking this option means they cannot do that stuff. If I'm not enabling this option, you cannot manage cases. If I'm not selecting the call centers, they cannot modify the call centers from now on. Currently, he cannot change all this stuff. He can only edit self-service users. And coming down to content application, these are all the things you can do with Salesforce content. That you can clearly see this here. When you read this stuff, it's really helpful also. You can clearly understand what people can do on call center application. They can manage cases, they can manage call centers, they can manage categories, entitlements, public solutions, self-service. All this stuff is clearly mentioned here. If you want the special features, you have to enable that checkbox by clicking on edit. Okay. Sometimes if the user um, want to give call center permissions only to some set of users, I will change it at profile level. That particular users will be having special access to that, special access to this call center application permissions. Same way for content and knowledge application, managing articles, all that stuff. Also, you can also manage partner relationship management with this IP restrictions and managing external users, and also the sales app at the end. These are all general app permissions. Whether I can convert leads or approve contracts or activate orders or activate contracts or transfer leads, merge leads, import personal contacts. All this stuff can be done with Sales Cloud, with Sales app, that I can enable the things according to your needs. If you want that feature, yes, enable that. Going back to profile overview again, app permissions is really simple option, and again the after that is mm, Apex class access. This is really simple. Apex class access and VF page access is if you want to give access to some Apex page or VF which is linked with some Apex class, I have to add a page first and also add the Apex class also. How to add that? By clicking on edit, by clicking on this. I'm opening the second option, that is VF pages, and I will click on move the things towards right side. Click on save. You are selecting some VF pages that you are sharing it to this profile users. Okay, I'm clicking on edit. So this on the left side all the available VF pages in the system. These all the right side are you created VF pages in the system. See, and available to this profile means all these VF pages are available to this profile user. These are not available but still available, but available in the system but not enabled. Click on this towards move towards right side, and from now on these new pages are visible to this user also. To this users belongs to this profile. Click on save. Same way with the Apex classes also. I will quickly show that to you. I'm coming back to Apex class access. Click on edit. Now you can see the things the same way what you did at VF page level. Same way you have some class in the system, you can move towards right side to enable this class for this profile users. From now on they can use these classes. Okay, clicking on save. Later on, if I go back to profile overview, I will also configure external data sources also. Permissions to authenticate external data sources and adding to this user. Click on edit and I can move towards right side. All the external data sources what is connected to this system I can specially add to this profile user, so that you are telling that you guys can use these external enabled data sources. Okay. Currently there are no data sources in my system, external data sources. That's the reason I cannot move towards right side to enable the external data sources. Click on profile overview. Named credentials. This is some permissions to authenticate some named credentials. I never used this. I will keep you posted on this. Okay. And I think this is a simple concept. You create name credentials in that option, and you can enable to the different users according to the requirement. Same way how you are adding VFPs and classes and data sources. Okay, click on profile overview to go back and see the again see the other option, that is data categories. I can create the data categories in the system to manage the knowledge. Okay, and I can also enable the data categories to the profile user so that I am giving some permission to view them or to access the. Okay, that I can do it here by clicking on there is no data categories available in the system to enable or to move towards right side. Okay, let's talk about custom permissions. Finally, the last option, app settings. Click on edit. I I can create some custom permissions and I can move towards right side to enable that custom permissions to this profile users. Okay, that custom permissions I'm going to create in the system. Custom permissions in the develop option. You can create the custom permissions here, and all the created custom permissions I can add by profiles so that users who belong to that profile can have access to that custom permissions. Okay, now go back again to the profiles. You're done with the application section. Now you will go to the system section where you are going to manage about the system settings. There are a lot of system settings generally with the same system permissions. Permissions to do a lot of general operations on system, whether to import data, whether you can do hard delete, whether you can do modify apex or not. All these options you can control here. For non-system admins, you don't be seeing these options checked. That is the reason for marketing user you're not selecting this option. For system admins, you are checking this option to write some apex code in the system because he have permission, right? If you want to give access to bulk hard delete operation, I have to enable this so that they can remove the records instantly and directly without going to the recycle bin with the hard delete operation. There are some of the app features. These are general reports, whether they can manage reports or dashboards or data categories or connected application. These are general settings. All the system settings are provided here. By seeing the name of them, you can easily identify what all you can configure here. If I'm unchecking this, means you don't have permission to do that. You cannot have permission to customize or create the dashboards if I uncheck this. If I enable this, yes, you have option to customize and create dashboards, and you can also share them to other users also. These are all general, very basic permissions. By clearly seeing the name, you can also see the description here so that you can follow it. Okay, it's a good position. You have to know about all these things. Okay, just by watching the name, you can understand what all you can do, what all features you have to enable for this profile users. Okay, if there is any specific to the marketing user, I have to enable that particular things for this marketing user profile. Okay, in the backend, these are available in system preferences, system permissions at the system section. Okay, click on profile overview. Let's go back to network IP ranges. That is this. I'll come back again to the previous two things. So for suppose if I want to give access for this marketing custom marketing profile, I'm adding some IP range so that you are saying, hey, please log in from this IP range. If they are trying to log in from different IP range, okay, it will show some error on the login page saying you cannot log in from this IP ranges outside of this IP ranges, like that error you can show. It won't show the exact error message, but it will show some exception while logging into the system. You are adding security to your application by blocking some users from the third party bad service. Okay, bad servers, like that. Okay, some description also here saying start IP range and ending IP range, and say that this belongs to Kansas office, so that You can add a number of IP ranges also for a profile user. Later on, login hours. You can also define login hours with the time zone help. Okay. With that, you are only allowing the people to log in at that IP at that login hours only. See, start time and end time. This is generally picking up all times in GMT minus 5 Eastern time only. Okay. The times what you are mentioning here are very specific to this profile users, and again they are using this time zone. Okay. And again you can set the time zones for all the weekdays and weekends also. If I got some default times, I can clear by clicking on this. I can clear this times. Come down, and now let's click on desktop client access. You can give some permissions to which desktop clients can access your Salesforce application. Click on edit. So there's a default, there's an application called Salesforce Offline, the desktop application. So there are some settings here. You need some updates or alerts without alerts like that. This is a simple configuration. For if you're using offline application, if you click on off, you are not going to allow the offline application to access data from your Salesforce system. Off no updates, on no updates. You are enabling the Salesforce offline, but you are not allowing them to update the data. Okay. If I click on update with alerts, without alerts, you can update the data, update the data. You can see the data updates and you can see without alerts. If you want data updates with data alerts, you can use the fourth option. And the last option is um, you will update, must update with alerts. All the things will be updated with the alert only. Okay, with for sure you have to see the error message, means update messages or alert messages on the screen on the desktop client. That option you are going to set here according to the option what you have selected here. It applies for that specific user, for this profile users, if they are using Salesforce one offline, Salesforce one application, okay, Salesforce offline application. At last, okay, we use password policies. Session timeout, again it's simple. You can decide some time, by what time your session should expire. If I give 1 hour, if I'm not using this application for 1 hour, that will be automatically logged out of the system and you have to re-log in again. The current default time value is 2 hours. That's the default time Salesforce will provide. Yes, you can minimize it to 30 minutes also if your customer requested by clicking on it and modifying the values. There is a predefined values. I can use any of the value for suppose 50 minutes or 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours or 4 hours or 8 hours or 12 hours also. It depends on your requirement. If it is a totally secure application, I will keep it as 50 minutes. If it is very free app, 12 hours is the max I can use for session time or time. Never expires is also one option which I am not finding. Okay, 2 hours is the maximum thing. Okay, that's fine. You can use that. So 12 hours is the maximum time. And click on profile overview. Now I will show you the password policy. That's a really simple option. The same option you can also see at the system level also. That's the last option. After finishing this, okay, click on edit. These are the general password policies. You are asking password should expire after 90 days. There is a different options here, you can check it. And the second option is you are enforcing the password history. It's going to save the last three passwords, and if you are trying to use the same password, it won't allow the things by the system. That's what you are clearly mentioning here. We have different things. 19 passwords remembered means last 19 passwords will be remembered. If you are giving the same password again, it will throw some exception on the page. And minimum length 8 characters. restriction, no restriction, and you have multiple restrictions here, which current scenario is no restriction. Here, mix of alpha and numeric characters, alpha numeric and special characters, alpha mixed numbers and uppercase and lowercase characters, and mixed numbers uppercase, lowercase, and special characters also. Password complexity, yes, you know that. Password question requirement cannot contain password in that hint question. That's true. And maximum number of login items, no limit. If I kept 3 limit, the account will be locked after 3 times you entered wrong password. Then you have to call back system administrator to reset the password again. That's the complex process. Means it's a simple thing, but some enterprises use that. If you give no limit, yes, you can enter the password a number of times. And lockout offline period. Whenever you're logging out an account, for suppose if I'm giving 3 login items, if you enter the wrong password for 3 times or more than 3 times, the account will be logged for this time, for this amount of time what you have mentioned here. See, 50 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and forever. I'm selecting 1 hour. It will be logged only for 1 hour after 3 login items failures. Okay, and so I'm saying keep it password secure with this obscure secret answer for password resets, and require a minimum 1 day password lifetime. So you have to maintain the password lifetime, that is at least 1 year, sorry, 1 day password lifetime for this profile users only. All the settings what I'm defining at this profile are specific to this custom marketing profile user only. Okay, and again I will talk about permission sets. Permission sets also, if I open that, you can see the same settings here. See, for suppose I'm clicking on new, so I'll open the existing permission set. The permission sets are very simple to profiles only. The only thing here is, see, all the things you can see the same way. Okay, system they have less permissions than that, like there are no special password policies or network IP ranges blocking all that stuff. System permissions only available, and app permissions all options are available. Why is that? Means, for suppose if there is a requirement like this, if there are 1,000 people in a profile called custom sales profile USA, there are 10,000 people. Out of 10,000 people, for um, for 20 people you want to build some custom application. In this case, out of 1,000 users, 100 users want some different set of permissions, or like out of 1,000 users, around 6 to 7 people want different set of permissions because they are managers and they want to manage some people extra permissions. In that case, what I will do, I will give the permissions with the public profiles. I will configure all the settings required for all the company, especially for 6 people. If you want some special settings, special access, I'll create a permission set with that special access, and I will go back to their users. See, like this, the options are same for both profiles and permission sets. If I am clicking on this user, there is option to assign permission set. See, permission set assignments. Click on edit assignment. I can add. There are some of the options I am trying to save and enable. Okay, that's fine. So I'm clicking on back. I'm clicking on user, that is Usha Elite. I'm clicking on permission set. See, I'll click on edit sorry. See, this is called permission set assignment. These are the available permission sets which you have created. For suppose the special access permission set what you have created, you can click on that and you will click on new right set to that 6 people, so that 6 people will be having special access. Then the other 994 people. because if the same requirement have to be run before 21st release of Salesforce, you have to create a new profile for that 6 people, the same settings with the change in small modifications what you are doing here on the permission sets. But with that scenario, with in that way, you have to create lot of objects and you have to sorry, I'm really sorry. Um, if you want to do that type of scenarios before 2001st 21st version, you have to create different two profiles. If that happens, you have to the profiles will increase a lot and it will be there's a lot of confusion. With permission sets, you don't need to create a new permission set for changing some settings for few people in the system which are having same profile. You can simply add a new permission set for the 6 people so that they can see the special access or some separate settings than the other 994 people. That's how you can use permission sets, but both are same. This question is asked by most of the interviewers also. Okay, I can control all the separate application access, object access, everything, tab access also, or permission set also. Okay, and I will talk about public groups and queues in the coming class. Do you guys have any questions? I want you guys to create some profiles, the system, create some users in the system, and create some roles also by assigning people to the roles by editing and modifying and adding some people. You know what is a role? Role is some position. Like you can you the role hierarchy will define you who reports to whom, and accordingly the records will be shared accordingly in the private sharing model. And I also showed you how cases, opportunities, and accounts will be shared accordingly while you are creating a assigning people to the role with the role hierarchy. Okay, login history. I want to try these options. I want you guys to try these options from your side. Okay, any questions?
No, Venkat.
Yeah, I'm going to share you some more videos to you guys. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm closing this current call now, and you guys can use the Canvas tool, and you can also post the questions required. Means if you have any questions, you can also post the questions offline. Even though if you're not in class, you can post the questions in discussions. I can answer them so that the other participants in this current training group can also see the question and answers directly from their system. Okay, I'm closing this call now, guys. We'll meet tomorrow at 9 p.m. again. Thanks, guys.